100%.
Yeah. Okay, good morning, everybody. Yesterday we did chapters, 12 and 13?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, whew, as you can see this morning, we getting a little bit of a late start. I was up late last night working on some other material, you know, just doing stuff. Sometimes I need a creative outlet. So I got creative.
Right.
Okay. That was it. I just needed to release that little bit of creativity. All right. So we're picking up on chapter 14. I don't have a rant or a tirade this morning. If you haven't, you need to watch the Exodus protocol. You need to follow those instructions if you're coming out. Okay? You're going to need to follow those instructions no matter when you find these messages or these videos. No matter when you learn that what I'm teaching is the truth and that what you are reading is deceptive. The changes are small. Okay? But the problem is there's so many of them that it actually lines out an entirely different path than what you've been on. Okay? I would liken it to turning one of those big, long trucks. You ever see that?
Yes.
And they turn around and they make big, wide turns. And that's because he just can't cut the corner like a little car.
Right.
Okay? Or like a train. You have to turn a train around. It's got to go through a big, long turn. Normally they don't even turn trains around.
Right.
They literally will just slap an engine on the back and the train roll back the other way. But we can't do that. So this is what we have. We have this turnaround. So this is a series of turns to get to get you to turn around. But all of these little steps is turning you. So while it's a little bit different, each little bit that you accept takes you a step closer to exactly where the Most High wants to be. And there's a million steps. That's how far it is. It's a million steps in a whole different direction. Okay? So if you come and you spent 40 years in the KJV, you're going to have to take a million steps to get out because you're going to find out that you've been doing stuff wrong for 40 years. It will sound similar, but when you get down to the details, one goes one way and one goes slightly the other way. And then repeats that process chapter for chapter, verse for verse, precept for precept. It just lines it out. So we're in chapter 14. And since we only got one reader, we're going to go ahead and get started.
Chapter 14. The wisest of women builds her house.
Okay. So right now we're in Proverbs chapter 14, but everybody loves Proverbs 31. Right? Yeah. So before you get to Proverbs 31, here's a jewel for women, what you're supposed to be doing with all the earnings from Proverbs 31, right? It says, take the money that she makes and put it in her hands. That is a test. Because you're supposed to be building your house with it. Or you can end up having a gold ring in the nose of a sow, a female pig. Right? What's this? She makes some money, and instead of her building her house, she does something else. So let's see, what are the two choices for Israelite women? Okay?
But the foolish woman destroys it with her hands.
So you're either going to take what you make, what you earn, what you build to build your house together, right? Right? You want to keep your family together. You want to keep your sons with you. Daughters go out, they're going to go out. because they get married, they're going to be with the new sons. Unless you have the occasion to where this son doesn't have much and you bring him in and you start building with him into your family businesses. But by and large, for the most part, they go out. Okay? It does happen in the reverse, but not that often. So you're going to have this daughter, and she's now got her own home. She finally learns she can make her own money, and her money is hers. And she becomes a woman of bad reasoning. Instead of taking her money and storing up for the children and for the future and to build the wealth for the house, she wants dresses, bags, shoes. She's a squanderer of her own resources. Okay? And what's the difference between a woman that just loves to shop and a squanderer of resources? The squanderer of resources, right? She doesn't see any of the needs for the home, for the building. She doesn't ask. She wants somebody to tell her. And then when you tell her, she looks at you like, well, why don't you have it? It's a squanderer of resources. Okay? So everybody is under the same law of the dedicated service of all your wealth. Because if you don't use it for the building of the house, then you're going to use it for the destruction of the house. If you don't use your money, men, for the building of the sanctuary, then you'll use it for the building of idols. That's it. It only goes one of two ways. It's black and white. And well, based upon whose opinion, nobody asks nobody about no opinion. Even if this woman is just taking her money and stacking it up and saving it, okay? She could save it. In the hour of need, she will offer it. That's a woman who builds a house. No, we have this money. Here, take this from my portion and give. You see? Continue.
You know, brother, I remember when I first heard about the Proverbs woman. And it's crazy because the concept that we were given in regards of her was about being this independent woman.
That's a lie.
Who is an entrepreneur for herself. Not so much for her household, but for herself. And as we read prior, that type of mindset makes you a footloose woman. So it's different. That's why you can't just read Proverbs 31. You really need to go through all of Proverbs because there are bits and jewels there as far as being the daughter of Zion, being the woman that we are to be. It's throughout the book of Proverbs, but the mindset is really going to have to change because we as women, yes, we do business and everything, but we have a husband who backs us, is the one who started. We're just aiding and supporting in that because he's got to be in at the gates. He has to be at the courts. So we go out and, have the store, run the store, take care of the store, be like managers. That's our part. We're aiding, we're supporting, but it has nothing to do with just building up the woman and the woman only. No, it's much greater than that.
Right. You're going to learn there's no individuals, period.
No.
There's no man that is an individual, and there's no woman that is an individual. So the men are orchestrated into teams, and everybody has their team and their department, and all the departments work together for a single goal. There's no individuals. None. Okay? The same thing goes for a woman. There's no woman individual. None. They work as a team. They're building the house of the husband because his house is the same. It has departments. It is compartmentalized so that the workload isn't too much on one or the other.
Mm.
Okay? So now if you tie it, your problem is you don't have a sister wife.
Right. You see, that's the part they don't understand. That Proverbs 31 is about sister wives, not just one woman, but sister wives and them all working together as a team. And that's what make it a one, a wholeness with all the parts working together.
So you talk about sister wives, and people want to talk about, the hirelings and your servants and everything else. Anybody that you bring into your home, right? Whether you pay them or they are indentured, you're going to have to still provide for them.
Mhm.
You're going to have to still they have to have work to do. Right? You're working, they're working, everybody's working. You have to have the demand for it.
Yes.
Okay? Because your duty is to protect the children at all costs. And you cannot put your children in the hands of strangers. I don't care how long you have known Esmeralda. Okay?
Mm.
You have to watch over your children. Okay?
Mm.
You want to keep the children real close. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
You have to keep them close. You have to keep a watchful eye. So there are no individuals. If you come and try to be an individual, you're going to be horrible at it. You're going to be a horrible individual. Okay? That's the truth. All right, let's continue.
He who walks in uprightness is in fear before Allah.
So the person who is walking in these instructions and doing them literally in the land, right? He's the one walking in uprightness. He is in fear before, right? The Most High's eye is forever upon Zion, before Allah. So if you're not here in the land and doing these things, you're not in fear before Allah. So this separates the imposters and the wannabes from the authentic articles.
Mm.
Okay? There's a lot of broods out here, but they're not walking uprightly before Allah. They don't have the ability, right? They cannot go and purchase land. So they cannot ask you to help purchase land here. Okay? I mean, I'm quite sure a couple of them have had the idea, but they don't have the lawful policies, rules, culture, or support from the indigenous brothers that we have in the land. There are righteous indigenous families of both Esau and of Ishmael, which are a part of our congregation, right? They're part of Israel.
Mm.
That's why the Muslims tell you this Israel business don't make sense. There's no Israelite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It don't start with Jacob.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't start with him. Okay? From Abraham, there's two branch families, the Ishmael branch and the Yitzhakim branch. This is your tribe. So the Ishmael says, I'm Ishmaeli. And the sons of Isaac say they are Itzhaki, with the exception of Esau, who spurned Isaac's birthright. He spurned the birthright, so he didn't get it. So it went to Jacob. So all the sons of Jacob by tribe are called Itzhaki after his name. Now, they weren't called that in times past, so they're not identified that in your holy books.
Mm-hmm.
But if you check Isaac's covenant, It sits there waiting for you to obey. But you cannot obey and sit outside and not be in the land, right? I visited America. I was in America for a year, 1 year. That's a visit. I've been out here the rest of the time, and I'm not coming back again. Y'all can have that. I don't like being outside of the land I'm supposed to be in, where the Most High is looking. I want him to see me walking uprightly, right? Doing that which is lawful and right, following the steps and the procedures for the redemption of the kingdom in the land. So let's find out what's next.
But he who acts wrongly in his way despises him.
So the only people who despises me, okay, and the rest of the people who wish to walk uprightly, lawfully, are the people who act wrongly. And the thing that they're angry about is the thing that they thought they could do to tear you down, it never came near you. It didn't work out. They said what they wanted to say, they did what they wanted to do, and you were not destroyed. You were not dismayed. Okay? You were not confused nor confounded. You were still in the same place you were in after they did everything they were going to do because they acted wrongly. Now, if you want some of this, you're going to have to come here and relearn. Don't try to come here and know. Don't think because you hear me talking on YouTube, you know, because you don't. You don't know. You don't know until you've done. And the process of doing is a stretch. You got to ask my sister about it. Get asked her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doing is not the same as reading and talking. To be honest with you, I'm commanded to read and talk. Not that I like it or dislike it. It's just I'm commanded to do it. But I know the difference because when it's time to do, I'm not talking. The camera goes off, I put my work clothes on, and I go work. You can ask my sister, she'll tell you. The instruction for work comes, the opportunity for work comes shortly thereafter, and we go. That's it. So that's that. Continue.
In the mouth of a fool is the goad of grief, but the lips of the wise guard them.
So in the mouth of the fool is the encouragement, the goading of grief. So they're encouraging you to get into hard times. They're encouraging you to get into a bad or a worse situation. But the lips of the wise guard them. What are the lips of the wise guarding them? Okay? They guard you from grief. So it guards the people from getting into bad or worse situations, like coming back, buying all of this land, right? Exchanging your money now to buy land changes the dynamic. Because you own the land, we have cattle, we have our own food. Your basic necessities are met. You have food, you have clothes, and you have work and a place to sleep. Okay, you have your four necessities: food, clothes, work, and a place to sleep. You'll be surprised at how that solves 90% of your problems and how easy it is to focus. Continue.
Where there is no ox, the cattle sheds are clean. But the largeness of the harvest is through the strength of the ox.
Okay, so
Wow.
when you have an ox, right, his shed is going to be toe up. He's a big, strong beast, right? He's going to scratch and buck up and butt stuff. But the largeness of the harvest is through the strength of the ox. So you're not going to get a large harvest without one. You need him to plow the fields. You need him to pull the carts. It's an entirely different situation and scenario. So you need that, right? If I were to modernize this, is you can't go into this farming business without the trucks, right? And should the gas die, you're going to need the oxen and the cart.
Yes.
That's how it works. So that's why I'm getting the oxen and the carts while the gas is still good, because I'm telling you, they're going to blow it up. You might still get some electricity. You got a little solar, maybe a little this or whatever, but you know, your little chemical, but you ain't going to be able to do too much. The gas going to be gone. You're going to need oxen.
Wow.
Continue.
A faithful witness does not lie, but one who speaks falsehood is a lying witness.
Okay. A faithful witness does not lie. First thing you're going to need to understand, because this is about improving your judgment, right? So a faithful witness comes in, they tell only what they see, okay? They don't come in and say, this woman committing adultery. I see her talking to this man, she's an adulterous woman, because that's not adultery, right? The conversation is not adultery, okay? Yeah, she was talking to him, she was on the corner, and she's footloose. No, that's not how that works, okay? It's not how that works. If these two people meet on the corner, they share some words and go their separate ways, there's no sign yet of adultery.
Yes.
That's a lying witness. Okay? Oh, I saw these two talking. What the hell could they be talking about? This is a lying witness. Okay? That's somebody who lacks understanding. Okay? Hi, how you doing? I saw the family the other day. Yeah, everything is great. You look nice. I'm glad you are looking healthy. Everything is going well. All right, yalla yalla, bye bye. Okay? Or whatever they talk about. Okay? You know, you'll be surprised. Right? People like to talk. You know? But if you see this man go with this woman inside the house, then you can raise the question that this is inappropriate behavior for a married woman. You bring another man inside the house. This is not appropriate. You see? She bring this man inside the house. That's inappropriate. A truthful witness will say, I don't know if she committed adultery or not, or the situation, but I see her come meet this man and she take this man in the house. Okay? Which man is this? What's his name? Where is he from? All the other questions come. If that man is not her husband or some family member, it can become an issue. But a truthful witness doesn't go directly to accuse of the sin he has not seen.
Right.
A false lying witness does, right? They jump to conclusions, right? They take entire leaps. They put 1 and 2 together and they want 18. No, that's only 3. Okay? So to understand how to testify properly, to be a truthful witness, that's part of this understanding. Okay? But the one who speaks falsehood is a lying witness. And the bottom line, any falsehood you speak, you're a lying witness, and the Most High hates that. Okay?
The scoffer seeks wisdom, and there is none. But knowledge is easy for the man who has understanding.
So here's the key. The person with jokes, right? They have a hard time obtaining wisdom. Right? It is not possible for them to obtain wisdom. Okay? And I'll be back to explain to you why. Oh, so I left off and it says, a scoffer seeks wisdom and there is none. Okay? And the reason why the scoffer, the one who mocks, makes jokes, pokes fun at, and doesn't obey the instruction, always looking for failure or some sort of drawback. This joker, this comedian, right? The reason why is because wisdom is not what's needed to be done. Wisdom is the how to do it, and then the perseverance to actually take the steps to make the changes. Okay? Making light and making jokes out of the situation will not change it. Okay? You can look at it, you can make it funny, you can be funny, you can tease the people that are doing it. Like, this ain't gonna change nothing. I'm telling you right now, people who grow their own food, right? The nation that grows its own food is free. It's a free nation. It's a strong country. They have something, right? Their people are not dying, they're not starving, they are doing good. But the scoffers, let's take a look, right? The top comedians today are Black people, right? And then if you look at the state of the people as the nation, right? What have they done? Nothing. They just keep making fun of the problems and you're not getting any solutions. They're waiting for somebody else to do it. They've got millions of dollars. They won't contribute. They won't come out. They won't change. They won't do anything. They just make jokes. See? Can't find wisdom.
Or they'll convert the other religions.
That's fine. You know what?
To keep
all of that's fine.
doing
The
what
other,
they do.
I'll tell you something. Them people in the wrong, you're allowed to be as wrong as you want to be, right? Go worship other religions. Go do other customs and traditions, because you can't come in and be upright. You don't have that option. So your only other option is pure wickedness. So go enjoy it. That's why I don't complain about it.
Wow.
Right? There's a verse in this book where the Most High actually says and commands the children of Israel in their rebellion to go and worship their idols. After the Most High's wrath is come, then you'll change. So go worship it and go receive the wrath. Then you'll know who told the truth and who lied. So go do it. That book ain't in Slim Jimmy. That verse is not in Slim Jimmy, but it is over here. So you have permission to go and seek out what you want to seek out, study what you want to study, but you're going to pay for it. There's a price. Nothing is free. Continue.
Go on another way from the presence of a fool who has no knowledge on his lips.
See?
Wow.
We're not even supposed to be traveling, moving, or working together. I can go another way from a fool. You depart from them.
Mm.
You see? So that's what you do. Separate yourself. Why you trying to bring them along for what? So you can have numbers? You don't need numbers. You really have to fix yourself to get anything straight. Because in the correction of oneself, you can regather the nation. Because I correct myself, now you working on yourself. Now we together. Somebody else with problems, they come in, they start working on themselves. We ain't gonna sit around here and you're gonna point the finger at everybody else. No. We're gonna point the finger at the you. You gonna point at you, I'm gonna point at me, and we really gonna work on ourselves and hold each other accountable. This way, we are not among fools. Everyone here is wise because wisdom is for who? You. Wisdom is for yourself. Remember, we read that a few chapters back. So you see how Solomon is compounding the lessons. He's compounding them, giving you different shades, telling you in different ways. Continue.
The wisdom of the prudent is the understanding of his way, but in the foolishness of fools is deceit.
So the wisdom of the prudent is the understanding of his path. He understands his steps. He knows the step he is taking, and he knows what is to gain from completing it. That's prudent, right? If we grow our own food and we get our own supermarket, I know that the people of my community, of my village, will not have to worry about personal products or food. Okay? Plus, from what we grow, we are in the market and we can take care of other things. We can further expand and develop. But the cornerstone of the community is always going to be food, right? We don't need a supermarket like in the community. That's not like what we're doing. We're not trying to sell food, okay? We actually come back with the food that we need and we cook it. The food is going from our field, what we do have, to the table. What goes to the supermarket is to get it out because it's not going to last forever. And you can do some preserving, you can do some other things to try to keep stuff going. But in real life, in reality, this is the truth.
And this is why you encourage so much about learning how to eat seasonally.
Right, because what grows in summer is summer, what grows in winter is winter. You got to eat seasonally because you're going to be moving around, right? You're going to be moving around the seasons and you'll always be prepared for the change of season. You know, 3 months we eat summer food, 3 months we eat fall food, 3 months we eat winter food. While it's available, eat it because when the seasons change, you're going to have something a little bit different.
Wow.
So we're going to have that. I mean, and there's some preserving, don't get me wrong, but by and large, you're going to eat what's in season. So the prudent man understands why the steps are the way they are, right? And it's really what the purpose of it is. It's not really why. Okay. Why is a futile question. I don't really like why personally, but what gets you a definitive answer? What are we doing? buying land. For what? To live on and for the land to produce for us. So you mean to tell me we just put seeds and water on the ground and we're going to get back a profit, stuff we can eat and sell that is of dual benefit to us? Yes. That's a triple threat.
Mm.
That means you have to start from a village. You're not going to be able to start from a whole city.
Mm.
Right? Because in truth, you've had the opportunity to start in the city twice. Okay? The first time the offer was made to the people of Dimona, they turned it down to move into Segev. And the second time, you turned me down before. You didn't want to come out because the times were so good. Then Corona hit and my phone rang off the chain.
Yeah.
Now, everybody thinks we're going back into the golden era. We're on an upturn. No, we're not. This is the calm before the storm. This is the opportunity for you to get your stuff together because the next blow is the death blow.
You know what I find being so admirable with you, because at that time we had all just met, and you had shared about you reaching out because you've been doing this for a while, and these same people who rejected reached out to you, and you immediately tried to do everything you possibly could to assist them, and them rejecting your offer to come together. You literally went out your way. That I am aware of. I don't know all the details, but I do remember, and that always stuck out to me that, wow, here, this man literally has gone out his way, really gone out fighting. Because at that time, that's when they were talking about dismantling the Mona at that time. And you literally was assisting in any way that you can to keep them together. And that says a lot, because you don't find that today.
Yeah. So you can do what you can, but a lot of times people don't like the cure. Okay? They want to band-aid the problem, right? They want to make the problem not appear to be a problem.
Wow.
They want to put aluminum foil on antennas. That's old, right? They want to put duct tape on the plane wing.
An electrical tape.
Right? Then duct tape on the plane wing.
Oh,
Okay?
goodness.
And like I said, it's not going to solve the problem. Okay? And you hope it stand up to pressure and everything else, but it's definitely not going to solve the problem. So when you talk about foolishness, right, of the fool, in it is deceit, right? Believing a lie, having false hope, okay? Everybody knows you put the seed in the ground, it's going to grow, okay?
Yes.
There are some that require little special tricks, some cinnamon, and you got to refrigerate it to get it to start. And, there's some that have little tricks. But by and large, you put a seed in the ground and it grows. You have to accept the truth when it comes.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to fail. So you're being deceived because you want something to come the way you want it to come instead of the way the world actually works. So look, the biggest deception that black folk have deceived themselves into is that farming is poor man's work. It sounds like it. Sounds good. But I want you to go up there and go take a look at Tyson with all the chicken farms. You take a look. They separate you from farming because they want to control it under them and make it profitable only to them. But it's profitable to all of us, right? You stop getting poisoned if you grew the food yourself, right? You don't got to worry about what they genetically modified if you raised your own. Now, you don't want to raise your own. You want to expose the chicken factory from people who have been tearing up everything. Why are you complaining? That don't make sense to me.
You know, I watched this video yesterday of this football player, ex-football player. He got this major deal. He played for a while, and then he quit. He walked away to guess to do what?
What?
Farm.
Mm-hmm.
There in North Carolina, and he grew sweet potatoes. And guess how he learned how to farm? Through watching YouTube videos. He knew nothing about farming, but this is what he wanted to do. He wanted to do service. So he's got a farm. He's got like all these acres of land, and he's grown sweet potatoes. And he took the first harvest and donated to a food bank. And and it's called First Fruit Farms. And I was looking, I was like, it's something how, you do something and you don't understand why you're doing it, but it's just so embedded in you. And then watch, it's like, oh, this is what we've been discussing and talking about.
Well, it's similar.
It's very similar.
Right? The issue with his farm is you can't live there. It's not a village.
Right.
Right? And another issue with his farm is not in the land.
Yeah.
You're still in a place, that farm he's still paying taxes on. And though he gave away the first harvest, he still has to now go back and he has to now charge usury to make a profit off of the farm. So those little good deeds, right? So-called good deeds, there's deception in them. This is what I mean by this is what the saying is. Inside the foolishness of the fool, there is deception. You come into the village, you're part possessor of the village. But in order to keep your possession, you have to keep your conduct. See? You're part possessor of the village. Okay? You're not the ruling party, but you still are a part possessor. You belong to this village, and this village belongs to you. So now you live here. It doesn't cost you to live on earth no more.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You're paying to live on earth. We have all of this land everywhere, and you're paying to live on earth. You're a fool. You're deceived. There is deception inside of this foolish thinking. See?
Wow.
So you join in with the NFL player, and there's a great story. However, in the story to bring you out of captivity, put you under the Most High's laws, right? Literally, so that you would have justice, so that you can have peace, so that you can have an entitlement to food, right? You don't need welfare. We got fresh food growing every day, and you're eating it every day fresh from the field. And you have a problem with that? That's somehow wicked in your eyes or insufficient. Well, why we got to live all the way over there with the Arabs? Because we Arabs. Well, we don't see any dark-skinned Arabs. I know. They over there with you. You the dark-skinned Arabs that's supposed to be over here.
Oh, goodness.
All right?
Wow.
It's you. You're the weirdo among all the other dark-skinned Arabs over there. That's why the Arabs always move into black communities, because they know we're related. They know we're together. Okay? It is profitable to them too, because you're going to do business.
Wow.
Continue.
Fools snare sinfully.
So this is something I'm always checking for. You got to watch the jokes. Every chuckle, every laugh you try to gain, you got to be careful because some of the jokes can be unlawful. And this is why trying to be funny and trying to be, have a lot of jokes and being a comedian is not profitable here in the land. It's not a good thing for you to do in dealing with the things of the Most High. Your joke can be counted as a sin against you.
Wow. While among the upright is goodwill.
So the only place you'll ever find goodwill, right? Good charity, good intentions for you, your family, your people is going to be among righteous people. Righteous people have to be doing the law. Now, for righteous people to be doing the law, righteous people have to make a very large sacrifice. And the reason why you have to sacrifice so much is because the multitude of the wicked is going to die and their wealth is going to get tossed to the wind until it comes back around. So in the meantime, between time, you have to give up all until their wealth comes back. You understand?
Wow.
Continue.
The heart knows its own bitterness, and in its joy, the stranger does not share. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the dwelling of the upright will flourish.
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, so the heart knows its own bitterness, right? So, how many times, like I said this yesterday, I was discussing this, I put it in a song, right? In America, I'm from a place where the bitterness of heart is normal. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the letdown, you know what I'm saying? That bitterness of heart is normal. Okay? So the heart knows its own bitterness. That's that brokenheartedness. Okay? Here it is, you cared about this person, you love them, you like them, and you wanted all of this future, and here they go, stabbing you in the back. They made all these promises and then they don't keep them. See? So that brokenheartedness, your heart knows when it's brokenhearted. You feel it literally in your chest. And in its joy, the stranger does not share. So I need you to understand this. When you were brokenhearted, you were brokenhearted alone. And the one who broke your heart went off all on their own and didn't care about you. Well, the same way you're brokenhearted alone, in your joy, you're alone too. You can't share it. Wow. So you have to do it for you, and then you're going to rejoice. And when you rejoice, you're going to be among all new people who did this thing with you. So when you get your joy, the stranger doesn't share. If you get your joy, you'll be among a different family. You'll be among a different tribe. They share in the righteousness, so they share in the joy. The wicked can't come in. They cannot be a part of it. So the strangers who don't know this way, that don't share in this path, they can't participate in the joy. So that rules out the wicked. We'll be back. right. Starting back again. We have to record this clip twice. So the scoffer seeks wisdom and there is none. The person with jokes, the comedian, the Most High hides from him because there are some sinful jokes. So the Most High hides from him the wisdom. What's wisdom? Wisdom is to know how to do and to do it. Right? You can know what the problem is, but knowing what is the solution, how to apply it, and then do it is wisdom. So the Most High hides that from comedians. So if you look at a comedian today, you'll find all of them cracking jokes about the problems, and they have none of the solutions. Okay? But knowledge is easy for the man of understanding. So the man that tries to understand the situation and doesn't make mockery of it, he sees the solution and he can apply his reasoning to it. You see? See, a mocker is going to read this book and he'll make mockery. He'll find jokes and he'll poke fun. Whereas a person like myself, I read this book and I see the advisement, I see the counsel, and I do it. I do things this way. Okay? And as much as I love comedy, I don't like all comedy. Okay? Some jokes are sinful. Continue.
Go on another way from the presence of a fool who has no knowledge on his lips.
So go on another way from the presence of a fool who has no knowledge on his lips. You see? So once you identify the fool and the one who lacks sense, you have to move on without them. You're not on the same path. Okay? The fool is on the same path as the wicked, as the one who lacks sense, as the evil one on the evil path. You may pass by them, but you're not on the same path. Just because your paths cross doesn't mean you were supposed to get involved. Okay? When you drive your car through the intersection, you're not supposed to crash into a car in the intersection headed on a different path. You're on Avenue L, okay? And the Most High's Boulevard. Let those on Loser Avenue go. Then when it's your turn to pass through the intersection, you pass through freely and don't have a crash. You're not supposed to crash into them. You're on a different path. Let them go their way. You're heading on a different way. It's a totally different direction. Continue.
The wisdom of the prudent is the understanding of his ways.
So a prudent man knows what to do. He knows what the outcome of the actions are, and then he knows how this solves his problem. Our people as a nation, we don't own land. You don't.
Yeah.
There's many individuals who have something, but even they don't own that. They're paying taxes on it. Right? So you have to own land tax free. Now, there may be some doing that in Africa, but they're not doing it in your father's house, on your father's land to redeem it. And that's the law of redemption. You have to redeem your father's house. It's the only time it counts. See how that works?
Yes, sir.
So a prudent man understands these things. Why are we farming here? Why we are keeping the law so strictly here upon this land? And then so that the Most High will be pleased with us and continue to sustain us and keep us in this path that we have decided to take. Continue.
Excuse me. Fools sneer sinfully.
Oh no, but in the foolish
But in the foolish,
of fools is deceit.
deceit.
So it's deceptive to say, well, I could buy my land in this other country. That's deceiving another child of Israel or a person of Israel because you've deceived yourself to take themselves and be openly disobedient to the command of the Most High to return to the land and rebuild. Period. Well, I can get land in Arizona and in Utah. Well, go over there then. You still didn't leave the land of your captivity. Well, the Most High said he gonna come get us. You're a fool, okay? You're deceiving yourself to think that, and in hopes that something to somebody is going to save you from your own wicked decisions. Nobody is saving you from dumb decisions. The wise decisions, I'm telling you, this is my father, okay? The wisest man ever. If this don't work, don't nothing work. And your idea is worst of all. They kill black people over here. You know what? Well, we know we're in the same country. Maybe they won't kill us if we move up the street. Let's move around the corner. It's better over there. No, it's not. It's the same. So you're deceiving yourself. You're deceiving others. And the deception continues because that's why you haven't gotten out in 400 years. Okay? That's how bad it is. Continue.
Fools sneer sinfully.
See, so this is important. Fools sneer, they joke, mock, scoff, right? Poke fun of, and it's a sin. Okay? There's a joke that's funny without it being a sin. Okay? There's a joke that's funny and it's not a sin. Okay? But in truth, once you get into this habit, it is difficult because you start to find the sinful jokes. Because the wisdom begins to escape you and the foolishness creeps in. And so once you make one unlawful joke, you now decorated yourself as a fool. You did it to yourself. You pinned on your badge because fools joke, mock sinfully.
While among the upright is goodwill.
So only among the upright is goodwill, right? Goodwill, meaning doing what is best for the whole, doing what is best for the village, doing what is best for the righteous among us. That is the only place where goodwill is. Everywhere else, right? Those who are obeying the instructions are among the righteous. Those who are doing the Exodus protocol, coming to the land, giving to farm and buy back and redeem the land. These are the righteous. They are doing what the Most High said, and they are becoming the people of the Most High through their obedience. Not through a belief, not through a claim. They're doing it physically. Thus proving they are because they heard and they did. You claim and you don't do. You're no different than the imposter. He claims, he don't do, But he's got tanks and guns and bombs and planes and friends throughout the rest of the Nephilim gang throughout Europe. You claim and you can come and do and you refuse. See, that's a fool. See, deception is right there.
Yes, it is. Really is. The heart knows its own bitterness.
So the heart knows its own bitterness, right? I'm growing up in America. It is common for everybody to go through heartbreak and the heart becomes really bitter. And I went through that myself. Okay? So the heart knows its own bitterness. That bitterness of heart, okay, that sour one, okay, is known among the wicked. Right? Nobody comes into this world knowing wickedness and enjoying it. Right? Sons want wives, daughters want husbands, and the moment you run into that, a couple of hoes, man, your heart broke. It doesn't matter, male or female, right?
Yeah.
You run into a couple of hoes and your heart is broke. That's it. Okay? Now it's in bitter. Then this happens a couple of times, and next thing you know, you start thinking this normal.
Yeah.
So now you start breaking hearts because you get with people who got googly eyes for you, and you tell them, no, we don't do that. That's not how this works. You're being weird. So the heart knows its own bitterness. If you've had the heartbreak, you know this feeling.
And in its joy, the stranger does not share.
So again, when that heals, right? The wicked people, that was strange. They were wicked. They cannot share in the joy. So if righteousness, the acts of righteousness bring joy, then those wicked people can't share in the act of righteousness because they're not doing it. They're doing wickedness. So even I'll sit here and talk about it, this sounds boring. You know, we've done 3 years worth of material.
Yeah. In months.
In months. Okay? The average typical somebody on YouTube does 30 minutes, right? 20 minutes, 15 minutes, right? Of content. I have done hours and hours. There are 3 seasons that are densely packed that I have unpacked for you, right? 3 seasons. It's 3 years of material to get you to understand, to get you to obey and do what the Most High has asked for. And only the righteous ones are going to do it. Everybody else is going to sit on the sidelines and make googly eyes and watch and see if we succeed or fail because they want to crack jokes, right? They want to laugh at your failure. And then if you succeed, they want to just jump in and pat you on the back. But the problem is our joy is hidden from you because you're a stranger. You won't see it. Those with us will see it and they'll enjoy. You, when you hit your failure, you'll come looking for us. Because the only sign is we never came back.
Right.
Continue.
But the dwelling of the upright will flourish. There is a road.
The house of the wicked.
I'm sorry, it went up. Okay.
The house of the wicked will be destroyed.
But the dwelling of the upright will flourish.
See? So the heart knows its own business, and its joy the stranger does not share is the same as the house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the dwelling of the upright will flourish.
Yes.
It's the same.
Yes.
So these sayings, so that you can understand the sayings, they're saying the exact same thing. The wicked will meet their end, and the dwelling of the upright, the village. Dwelling is village. It's not one man's house. Right? Shakib, right? So we have the village, Shakib Salam, the dwelling of peace. You see? So this dwelling of the upright, it will flourish. Why is it flourishing? What are you talking about? They own the land. They own a supermarket. They have a business. Then they got other small little businesses, and they all helping each other to succeed, and everyone is prospering in their way. It's multi-armed. It's beautiful, but the wicked can't share in it because guess what? You're wicked. You're not doing nothing to share in it. You're doing everything to destroy yourself. Continue.
There is a road which men think is straight, but its end is the way of death.
So this is the express bus to nowhere keep talking about.
Yes, express bus of food.
The express bus with fools. Okay? You want to get to the destination, and it appears that this is the shortest, fastest, and most direct way. It is the most convenient for you. No, that does not work. That is the bus, the express bus to nowhere. It ends in death. So you can say the Mashiach will save us. Watch, Ak. You're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die for lack of instruction. Okay? You're not reading the authentic text. And this is one of those little small steps. One book says stay over here and wait for somebody to come get you. And the other one says get up and go out there to the wilderness and I will meet you there face to face. Now, if your forefathers had to get up and go out to the wilderness, why do you think that the Most High changed? Well, how we know he with you, he ain't with somebody else? Well, go check everybody else first then. Check them. Call them. Go out there. Go over there. I'm telling you how to build self-sustainment. I've lived out here 8 years. I didn't call none of you. See? I didn't call them. I'm a ruler of peoples out here. I'm trying to tell you how it's done, how you gain it, and how it's to be set up. From the customs and the traditions and from the books of the law. They are similar. Like one and the same. They go together. One support the other. But you don't know that, so you continue in your way. And that's how you go straight to death. Go on your own way. It's straight to hell. You on a highway to hell. Go ahead, continue.
Even a laughter, the heart feels pain, and the end of joy is grief.
Okay, so even in laughter, the heart feels pain. So the one cracking the jokes, right? The one sneering and mocking, and it's based on pain.
Yeah.
You know, he's up there hurting. This happened and this happened, and you know, it comes from a very painful place, right? But remember, the end of joy is grief, right? Meaning, when the righteous are removed, the only thing left is grief. Grief from what? Mourning. Mourning from what? From the wrath of the Most High. So this saying is in reference to Sodom and Gomorrah, Noah and the flood, the children of Israel when the coming out of Egypt, when the Most High removes the righteous, he leaves them in grief. He leaves the wicked in pain and in sorrow. And I'm telling you, the righteous is coming out. Once they get on this little bitty plane, I promise you, you're going to have all hell to pay. There's not going to be any saving at that time. Okay?
Yes.
The ones who do escape, they're going to be escaping and escaping and escaping until they get here. Because only the children of Israel, the sons of Jacob, can only abide on this land. So all of the mothers, for their disobedience, they're going to lose their children. Okay? We'll be back right after this.
We're now on verse 13, even laughter.
All right, verse 13. Whew.
Even in laughter, the heart feels pain.
So even in laughter, the heart feels pain. So those people, they are laughing. There's pain behind that chuckle.
Yeah.
You laugh about it maybe after, but there was pain from the laughter, you know? Okay? Every comedian, you're laughing at pain. As a matter of fact, like Kevin Hart, that was his comedy show, Feel My Pain. And he, you know? So, and continue that.
And the end of joy is grief.
So even in laughter, the heart feels pain, right? And the same way, even in joy, the end of joy is grief. So when the Most High removes the righteous, this is talking about the Most High's redemption. Okay? When the righteous are removed, when the Most High removes those who are to become joyful and receive joy and gladness out of fulfilling the obedience of the instruction of the land here with us in the land, it will only leave grief to everyone else. So your lack of participation or your stagnation and observation, you're going to receive the same punishment as the wicked together when the righteous come out. And I'm telling you, they coming. Like I'm warning you. Continue.
He who is haughty of heart gets satisfaction from his own ways.
So the person who is self-entitled, right? Remember what haughtiness is?
Yes.
I deserve because, right?
Yes.
Because I'm rich, this, and I want to do it my way, and I pay, and it can be like how I want because blah, blah. All right. The only way they get satisfaction is from their own ways, right? They always have to oppress somebody else, and their ways get more and more wicked as they go, right? So let's take a look. Let's talk about people who have self-entitlement because they have something, right? So let's talk about the men of Dubai, right? So rather than, be upstanding men, right? If you go out there, they have a quality that they're looking for. They have a lifestyle, this, that, and the third. Now they have tainted their names by corrupting themselves with whorish women. And the women don't even understand this verse. So now this man is satisfied and he has a strange way. I want to see you have sex with a camel. I don't get any enjoyment from having sex with women anymore. I want to see them degrade and abominate themselves, but I won't let my sister, my mother, or my daughter come out here to do this. And why? Well, because I'm rich, we can, and it's, we tell them up front, we pay them how much to get you to come out. $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. We give you $30,000. We give you ticket. We give you this, and you come and do these little freaky things that I want. And the foolish people go out there.
Yeah.
Okay? So their ways become twisted and they're only satisfied in it, and it just gets more and more twisted.
Yes, sir.
So continue.
He who is haughty of heart gets satisfaction from his own way, but a good man gets satisfaction from his Allah.
So the good man, he gets satisfactions from obeying the Most High's instruction, literally. Following the Most High's ordering, literally. So if the Most High appoint this man, I have no problem with it. We walking in this. If the Most High says we buying the farm, I have no problem with it. Here, take my money. This for Allah. Alhamdulillah, take this money and go with it. Excuse me.
The simpleton believes every word, but prudence understands what is good for it.
Okay? So the simple man believes every word. You know who the simpleton is? This guy quote everybody. I heard and so said.
Mm.
That's it. That's a simpleton. You know, Dick Gregory said, Dr. Sabi said, Jamie Foxx said, I heard, I saw on TikTok, I saw on YouTube, you're a simpleton. A prudent man understands what is good for it. What is good for it? And you're saying, what does that mean? Okay. Before I want to raise sheep, I have to build the sheep pen. So before I build the sheep pen, I have to possess the land. So if I possess the land, then I can put the sheep pen on it. Then when I get the sheep, the only thing I have to do is bring in the food, bring in the water, and maybe bring in the doctor to inspect the sheep. I got them. They're here now.
Right.
But what's good for the sheep, I have to provide. What's good for it? The same with the cow. I have to provide the cow with what is good for it. I have to provide each and everything that the Most High has asked me to take care of, what is good for it. What is good for the tree that makes cinnamon? How are we going to fertilize it and keep it healthy? Because I want cinnamon forever. I'm going to eat it.
Mm. Mm.
Okay? What is good for the frankincense tree? What's good for the cedar tree? Everything that the Most High wants me to possess, I have to possess everything that is good for it. To possess it. That's prudence.
Mm. And in that, you have, from that, you establish administrators and administration in order to keep it functioning.
Keep it functioning. Right. I don't plan to sit here and administrate this forever. There's other people coming in who are planning and reaping, or hoping to plan to reap the benefits of the work and the prudence that I'm doing, the work that I'm doing. So you want to reap the benefits, you cannot reap the benefits for free. There is a work you must do to reap the benefits.
So this is why the prudence training is so important from all of us.
Exactly. Because you think you pay the cost to be the boss. Not so.
No.
With us, the boss, the judge, the ruler is appointed, period. Based upon what? Wisdom, understanding, prudence, integrity, knowledge.
Mm.
Okay?
So if we all are functioning in this prudence, we all will understand
What
it
is
is good
good
for
for it? So what's
all
good
of
for
it.
the whole? So the people want to eat lamb. Well, if we're going to eat lamb, then we have to have what is good for the lamb. We can't feed the lamb poison and then get mad when the lamb gets sick and die. You have to give the lamb, the sheep, what's good for it. And that goes for everything. If I'm going to take care of people, I have to give them what is good for them. They're going to need they need organization. They're going to need order, task. There must be justice. Okay? There must be equity. You're going to get these things in the process of time, but you for sure not coming with it because you never exercised it upon yourself.
We have to learn.
You have to learn. Continue.
The wise man fears and turns from evil, but the fool is mixed up with foolishness and trusts in it.
See? I mean that like almost needs no unfolding.
No, it's very
So the wise man fears what? I fear the wrath of the Most High. Okay? And I also have a fear of breaking the instruction that my father left to me in his house for its redemption. I don't want to lose any of these. Okay? And so now I turn myself from the evil path and I forsake my own ideas to walk in the instructions of my predecessor. He was wiser than me. The fool gets mixed up with foolishness and then hopes and trusts in it. You hoping for it to work out. Watch. Soon as we get this record deal, I'm heading straight to the top. No, you're not. Right? You trust in it. Jonathan Majors trusted in his situation. He's a fool who got mixed up in foolishness. So now when I tell you, I've gotten mixed up in some stuff in my learning process, and I learned it was a sin to even get mixed up in it because this is foolishness.
right.
So I'm guilty of getting mixed up in it. Okay? And whatever I have to pay to get out of it, I do what I got to do to get out. Continue.
Whoever is short tempered is considered a fool.
Short-tempered people are fools. Period. So you easily angered and you quick to pop off verbally, physically, or just exhibit any type of public display of anger, you're a fool. How does a simple discussion escalate like this? Well, it escalates like this because you must come from an uncivilized environment.
That is very true.
Okay? You come from an uncivilized environment where this type of foolish behavior is rewarded.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? You don't live in a place of justice where a person is given their rights. Oh, it worked? No? Here, give me, take this one. We send it back. It's like basic stuff. No, no, no. I want my money back. Okay? Money back. Now that only works for goods. That doesn't work for the sanctuary. That doesn't work for land. Land is a one-way street. You can't get refunds on it. It don't work that way. All right, continue.
And he is hated by the man whose planning is lengthy.
Okay, so you see, the ones whose plans are lengthy is hated by the man who have a short temper. Easily angered. Hey man, why you doing all of these talking? You're a fool. You know what I'm saying? People easily angered. We have to take this step and this step and this step and this step. You have to. It's a lot of planning. And I'll explain it to you. It's lengthy, but I could sit down with you and we can discuss the ins and outs and the outcomes. They're guaranteed, 100%. Okay. I buy a bag full of good seed. I put it in the dirt. 100%. I'm going to get crop out of it. It's 100% guaranteed. Okay? You own the supermarket, you 100% guaranteed to sell your food, your fruits and vegetables in your store. 100%. You get it and sell it in your store. There's other people that will request their store to get it so that they can have it closer to home so they don't have to travel across town to get it because it's just that good. So now you start selling to the community at large your products and services, but you didn't rule out selling it for yourself and out of your own establishment. And you short-tempered people, this is a scam. No, you just hate me because my plans are lengthy. 40 years, why I gotta study the law and learn for 40 years? That's what it takes to learn the law. I didn't make up the rules, I accept it. Okay?
And it's 600 years.
It's 600 years to live it with perfection for the tree of life to bring out its fruit.
Oh, goodness.
So I don't know what you're complaining about 40 for.
I know that's right.
40 nothing compared to 600. So I'm gonna do the whole 6.
Right.
And then see what the end will be after that. Right? I'm gonna finish all the training and then finish the timing of perfection. And I want to get all the way to complete the 1,000 years of keeping the law and see all the new things the Most High come up with.
You know, when you consider, okay, 7 years of cleansing, another 7 years for purification, 40 years in learning the law, 600 years coming into perfection. I see that as mercy. That's mercy because you're getting one step, and you're having time in those steps.
Yes.
Some people don't have that opportunity. They're straight in the valley of death. So I see that as being more of mercy than anything.
See? Well, there you go.
Simpletons will inherit foolishness, but the crown of the prudent will be knowledge. Wow. Learning a lot here about prudence. Learning a lot here.
So simpletons inherit foolishness.
Yeah.
What? That's their inheritance. It's the only thing you're working for. It's passed down to you. You simple. You daddy simple. Your kids gonna be simple.
Yeah, we come from a system that's simple.
You're a simpleton. Simpletons will inherit foolishness. Right?
Wow.
Right? Everything is entertainment. Everybody's singing and dancing and acting and right?
Yeah.
All right.
Gestures.
Okay.
Oh, goodness.
But the crown of the prudent will be, it's earned, will be knowledge. What? He knows what he's doing, he knows how to do it, and he's on the path of doing it. So he have knowledge, and from that knowledge, he will ascertain the wisdom. Wisdom is crowned after everything is completed, the problem is averted as it was instructed, then he have the crown of wisdom. right? So Joseph had a crown of wisdom, but the crown of wisdom came when? After the 14 years. Right? 14, Joseph went through 14 years in Egypt. 7 years of plenty, then 7 years of famine.
Yes.
He was so prudent over the instruction, right? The famine didn't even last the full 14.
No.
It ended early. When Joseph's brothers came and everybody came into the land and they repented of their sins and everything was good, the Most High relented from the famine.
So that's why when Yakub died, it was such a big thing for everybody, not just for our family, but for everybody. And it even says in the law that they stated about how the ending of the famine
The
of
famine had
him
ended
being
early
there.
on account of
Yes,
Jacob, his sons, and everybody.
yes.
They were united together in oneness. They were in the place where the Most High wanted them to be. And if you hear, the Most High will not continue the famine upon you. You now have sanctuary. The Most High's anointed is in his rightful position for the time. He was ruling over his brethren and taking dominion in the land of Egypt. It's the same, it's similar here in Jordan. To take a piece of land and bring in my own people and govern us upon it, we have a dominion in Jordan. Trying to tell you, y'all don't want to listen. Continue. Whoever is feeling he is hated by the man whose planet is lengthy. Yeah, I can't stand him. That's true too. So I read the verse before it again, right? So I know short-tempered people don't like me. I know that. And I can't stand them either. Right? Like, what are you getting angry for? Because they said, well, they have a right to express themselves. They have a right. What you getting angry for? You mad at them for getting angry and you short-tempered. I can't stand.
Oh, that was once me, sir.
I can't stand it.
Yes,
You got to
yes.
get all loud and make a scene. I can't stand it.
And what's crazy is I went from being short tempered to suppressing my temper and still had no solution. It's not until now I have solution.
That's how it works. You got to have a solution. You got to have reasoning.
Yeah.
Okay? A person who is hurt, physically harmed, has a right to cry out in pain. You tell a simpleton tells the person who was physically hurt, right? Shush, shush, shush. It doesn't hurt that bad. Well, you didn't receive the injury.
Right.
Okay? You didn't receive the injury. When people have all these emotions about stuff that didn't actually happen to them, oh, you're a simpleton. You're a simpleton. It didn't actually happen to you. Well, I don't feel it's right because I'm a.
Wow.
Because all of that does, it just stifles your plans, right? It delays progress. So yeah, I can't stand them. I really can't. I just want you to know.
The bad will fall down before the good, and the wicked will go to the gates of the righteous.
So the bad will fall down before the good. So if you read this wrong, you think they both fall down. That's not how this read. So the bad will bow down. The wicked will come in and they will have to do obedience. Now, if you know obedience is bowing, they will have to give homage and honor to the ones who were righteous. So this is the same. The bad, the evil will bow down to the righteous. Follow that up by the wicked will go to the gates of the righteous. So because the wicked will be hit with famine, they will have to go to the righteous to sustain their own lives, thus having to bow down. You're not going to take the food from the righteous. That's just not going to happen. Right? First of all, we're not even building in the same place. You're building among the wicked. We're not. We're building amongst the family. You're building out there with foreign nations and trying to file your claims and your paperwork to get your sovereignty down at the United States government office and get stamps from the State Department about you somebody. Are you dumb? And that is not how it's obtained.
They're fools, dumb.
Yeah, dumb. Yeah, dumb means you don't speak. You're stupid. Are you stupid? Yes, you're stupid.
You're stupid.
I get it.
Yes.
So the evil or the ones who make bad choices, they'll have to bow down for those who've made the good choices. What's the good choices? Following this instruction, because the famine is coming. Continue.
Even his friend a poor man hates, but the friends of a rich man are many.
Okay. So again, right? Poor people do not have many friends. Okay? This will serve to your benefit.
Yes.
You say, how does this serve to my benefit? I'll tell you that when we get back.
Go to the restroom, sir.
All right, we're back. So where else we left off?
Okay, so let me get back to it. We are okay. We just finished, and the wicked will go to the gates of the righteous.
Okay, we finished that.
Even his friend, a poor man, hates, but the friend of a rich man are many.
Okay, so I know poor men that have many friends. What's their problem? Okay, so let's look at the trend. Let's look at what they do. So each one is about obedience, right? So the people who walk in the Most High's way obtain wealth, and yet the Most High calls them poor. Are they impoverished? They have gold, they have silver, they have their land, they have their food, but they say they're poor. What are they doing? Hiding from the wicked. Because the wicked man is surrounded by friends, but they're not friends at all. The rich man is surrounded by people who are there to sap that which he is flossing. So if you are a big spender, then you will always be surrounded by people to try to get you to spend. And they will act like they themselves are poor. They are providing you with services. Right? So to be in the Most High's service, you're providing services, you are placing yourself in the category of the poor. Okay? Continue.
The sin spurns his friend, but blessed be he who gives to the poor.
So the sinner will always spurn, get into an issue with his own friends. Okay? Okay, so I'm looking at this definition of spurn, so you guys have it. So the sinner spurns his friend. Okay? So the word spurn, to reject, disdain, or contempt. So the rich man is surrounded by his enemies. The people around him have hate for him. You see?
Wow. Wow.
So he is spurned. And this is continuously. So you could see the sinner spurns himself. The rich man has many friends, right? But the sinner spurns his friends. So this is the continuation of the idea of this thinking. So you don't want to appear what? Not that you don't want to dress nice, right? This is a beautiful jalabia, right? That's not, we're not discussing dressing nice. We are discussing, balling, wearing all of these lavish jewels and going out to the club and trying to show everybody you got it and buying a bunch of uselessness for a bunch of people that don't care about you.
That's why it's not strange when your friend turns around and robs you.
Right?
Not strange.
Now the Most High says, now, blessed be he who gives to the poor. Is blessed is the man who gives to my people who are doing my instructions. Blessed be the people who give to me, my sister, Ali, right? He's the high priest, gives to him because it's coming in for the work of the kingdom. It says you'll receive a blessing in doing this, which is why after each class from this point since the protocol, I have been placing the prayer of the blessing for those who are preparing to give and those who have set in their hearts to give. Those who are getting ready to give from their tax returns and their right? And their big wins down at the casino. Those who hit the lottery, hit the number for them to give so that they can get out. That's how you receive the blessing, because the Most High says, my people are poor. See? So I'm poor. Okay? It doesn't matter what I have. It doesn't matter what I don't have. I'm poor. Yeah, I'm poor. No problem. Most High calls me poor. I'm poor.
Yes.
Right? I'm asking you for money to build for the kingdom, right? To build the village, to buy back the inheritance of land, right? How much land you looking at? 900 acres, but it's just a start. It's the size of a county, but it's a start, Continue.
The evildoer who plan wickedness err.
The evildoers who plan wickedness error, period. It's wrong to do, and after it's done and all the drawbacks of your actions come back to you, you sorry. You wish you hadn't done it. You should have went a different way. All right. It's your error, but you're an evildoer and you planned that wickedness still. You're still guilty. Continue.
Excuse me. But the good plan mercy and truth.
So, building the sanctuary, this is an act of mercy.
Yes.
Right? I'm trying to undo, right? Repent from, right? Recover from the punishment of the sin which our forefathers did commit and of which we did partake and are still partaking. Okay? So to undo this is an act of mercy, but the only way to undo this, to receive the act of mercy for it to be successful, I must follow these instructions because they are the truth. Remember what Solomon said from the beginning? My lips meditate only in truth. So you have to meditate here and do it like this. Continue.
And whatever is a trouble to you will be profit, but excessive talk leads to want.
Okay, so whatever is a trouble to you will be a profit. So the famine is coming, inevitable, right? The plagues are coming, famine, war, disease. This is profitable to us. If we do what the Most High says do, we will gain. So Egypt profited in the famine following Joseph's wisdom.
Sure did.
We're going to profit the same way. Are you hungry? We got sandwiches. You got any gold? You got any silver? You got any? You don't have gold, silver? Well, you got land? We take land.
I mean, that's what Joseph did at
Same.
the end. They got land. That's how Pharaoh became
Same plan.
Same plan.
And with the same plan, the Egyptians ate in their land for free, and everybody else had to pay. They charged everybody else, and thereby they consumed their land. Same plan, okay? If you guys, I know, I'm trying to tell you, the plan is immaculate. I didn't think of it. I'm just following the instructions on the page. I know you can't see the instructions. You're too religified. Continue.
But excessive talk leads to want.
So all this talking, right? All this complaining, I want this and I want that, and we need this and we need that. It leads to want. It leads to neediness. It leads to captivity. Everybody got something to say. Everybody is talking and nobody is following an instruction. Nobody want to hear the truth. Nobody want to get up and do what is right. Okay, well, that's going to be your own problem. You're going to want saving. That's what you're going to want. You're going to want deliverance. You're going to want so-and-so to not have died. You're going to want to live and not die. I'm telling you. Continue.
The crown of the wise is their wealth.
Oh. So you can be poor and wealthy. You remember, wealth and rich is two different things.
Yes.
Okay, wealth, you have something that is constantly generating for you without fail. That is the foundation of necessity. Land, food, cattle, these things make one wealthy. So if you put all of your money into acquiring these things and becoming part of the village become wealthy, the entire tribe, the entire house. No matter how you segregate the people, they all become wealthy. Because they all have sufficiency. They are wealthy, meaning whatever storm comes tomorrow, they're not going to be shaken by it. They have everything they need. They are wealthy. Now you can go over there and ask them for 2 nickels, and everybody pat their pockets. Hey, we ain't got none of those. We're poor. Over here, one sheep for eating cost about $500, right? Literally. That's the going rate. So if you got 200, let's do a little math. Just a little math. So you got 200 sheep at $500 a pop. How much do you have? 200 times 500 equals, that's $100,000. And you talking about you poor.
Because they don't see wealth in the possession. They only see wealth as a dollar bill.
Okay? She'd give birth twice a year.
Ooh.
And on average, you get about 2-1. Sometimes they give birth to 3, sometimes they give 4, but on average, they give birth 2-1. Okay? So after 6, and they give birth every 6 months. So if you have 100 adult sheep minus the males, okay? We're gonna pretend like we didn't count the males. And all the women get pregnant and they all give birth. And the average is 2-1. So after 6 months of raising the sheep, you suddenly go from $100,000, it's going to add double to it. It's going to add $200,000. So you're going to add 200,000. Okay? Now that same flock of sheep is going to give birth again, right? Because the sheep wean after 6 months and the moms give birth again. They give birth twice a year. I just told you that. So you're going to get another 200,000 in a year. So let's add that. That's 200,000. So now it's been 1 year. You started with 200 sheep and you have grown from 100,000 to 200,000 from 100,000 to $500,000 in cattle. In 1 year. Broke. Right? You think I'm going to sell all my sheep? No. I may sell $100,000 worth throughout the year, and that comes back into the fold. But that's for what everybody needs.
Wow.
Shoes, clothes, weddings, dresses, yada, yada, yada. But we have it, right? And then another 6 months, right? Now it's been a year, and that first 300,000 is ready to give birth because the females are a year old now. And then the other bunch, because I still have the other 100,000, they now what? Right? So I subtract 100,000 because I sold them. So that came out cash, and we're using that for the thing. So now I take the first sheeps, right? So I started out with 500 and they were turned out into 1,500. So I take the first 1,500, right? The first 1,500, and they're now going to multiply because 1,500, each one give birth to 2. So that's plus another 3,000. Now I got 4,500. Now that's 4,500. And not to mention, we still have the other set of 1,500, right? Minus the 500 that I sold, right? To get the money out. So you're going to have about another 1,000 or whatever. Okay. And now you take that and you add that other 1,000. Okay. See? In a year and 6 months, we got 5,500 sheep. But let's see how much that is times. So you're going to multiply that times 500. And now and after 1 year and a half, you got $2.75 million. $2.75 million. Took you a year and a half. 1 year and 6 months.
Yeah,
I'm poor though. It's just me and my sheep. I've got great wealth. The sheep are multiplying on their own. I just give them food. We graze them outside, eating on the green grass, right? And they get water.
Yeah.
But you don't want to participate in that, right? Because you can get $1 million in a record deal.
But the glory of fools is their foolishness.
The glory of fools is your foolishness. So wear it like a crown. Keep twerking. Keep doing whatever it is you're doing. I don't even want you here because you're wicked. If you're going to be foolish, you can't come in no way, so you're not coming. This doesn't sound attractive to you. Sitting on a hot mountain watching sheep eat all day, it's kind of boring. I understand.
A true witness saves life. Saves life.
So a true witness saves life. Okay? Saves life. Okay? So what happens? This is what happened. Here's the truth. This. They are preserving life. The person is not guilty. They didn't do it in truth. Or the person is guilty and they did do it. In both cases, they save life. What happens? What are you talking about, Rabbi Sheikh? Because what happens that they save the person's life because if the person did do it and they have to kill the guilty party. Yeah, you right. We killed the guilty party, but we didn't incur the death of innocent blood and the plague that we might die partaking in this wicked person's evilness. He has saved our life.
Lives are being saved.
Lives is being saved by a true witness. Okay? They're saving the life of the innocent person through their judgments, and they're saving our lives by making sure we don't incur the guilt of shedding innocent blood or participating in it by absolving the guilty man, and he's trying to get away with more murders. So now we're saving the lives of the people he also trying to kill. So a true witness saves everybody's life. Let the wicked die alone, and we will have joy in the city. Continue.
But he who speaks falsehood is a deceiver.
Whoever speaks falsehood is a deceiver, they deserve death, right? The deceiver will always receive the punishment that the accused would have received. I just want you to know that that's the law. So if you falsely accuse somebody, right, and you bring the issue to court and everything else, trying to get somebody else in trouble, whatever the punishment is for those accusations, you're going to receive that punishment.
Yeah.
So since that's why everybody sits quiet, right? We could sit down and discuss it. If I didn't do it, I don't even have to fly off the handle. I'm going to ask the key questions to prove I didn't do it. And when you see that it's proven I didn't do it, my accuser goes to the death in my place. You try to appoint death to me, and you sent yourself over there. Well, we glad you're gone. Continue.
The fear of Allah is strong hope, and his soul will have confidence.
So right here, you see the word strong hope, right? The fear of Allah is strong hope. This is not true. It's saying something else, right? Okay? It brings strength in what you hope for. Because the fear of Allah is to hate the evil path, to hate haughtiness, to hate this, to hate that. Since you hate all of the evil things and you like the things that Allah likes and you participate in those things, You can have strong hope that the achievement of the building of the kingdom, the establishment of yourself, your family, your loved ones is secure. And your soul can be confident, you in your body, in your life, you can be confident that you will see all good. You have no confidence because you wasn't out here. Okay? I got confidence because I was out here. So because I've exercised it, I've seen the Most High's hands of deliverance. I've seen judgments overturned when people brought me into court. I've seen it. I did lawfully. And they went in there with their European squeaky wheel plan, right? You know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, gets the grease. Here, yeah, we go to court and it's like no fees. It's just court. Okay? There's not a bunch of lawyers and advocates. You go in there, it's the sheikhs. And they're going to talk from this law, and you're going to have a problem. Because they're going to know evil from often. Giddy up.
The fear and his soul will have confidence.
Right.
The fear of Allah is a fountain of life to him who turns from the trap of death.
So the fear of Allah will extend your life, right? It is the fountain of life, right? So this is where you see all this fountain of youth talk. It's not youth. It's the fountain of life. It extends your life indefinitely for those who have turned from the trap of death. So this is marked for the generation who was born in sin. I committed the sins. You committed the sins. Everybody committed the sins. All of Israel is in sin. Okay? 100%. But to turn to this law and walk in this instruction and do what it asks you to do is the repentance from the sin, right? You're leaving America, you're getting out of there. You're forgetting America's laws and rules. You're going to live under these laws and rules. You're forgetting the job and the work in America. You're going to do this work. Okay? You're going to give the American wealth and monies, whatever it is that you have in exchange for the land, the cattle, the food, and we're going to start growing our wealth together as a tribe again. I'll continue when I get back.
How's the battery, sir?
You check. Battery's good. Battery's good. And we continue as a tribe again. So when you're looking at it, it's extending your life. You no longer be poisoning by poisoned water. Okay? You're no longer being poisoned by poisoned food. Okay? It's over. You're no longer being poisoned by the medical systems and their malpractices because you're not with them, you're not in their care.
Right.
You're no longer under a faulty judicial system, right? That is impartial, unjust, and full of bribery. It's gone. You are now in the kingdom that you desired so much because you are working in it. You are working to build it. You're working on it. You're here. If it starts from a village, it'll grow to a city. If it becomes a city, then it'll become a nation. Because a nation is just a bunch of cities, environs that are all coalesced together and work together. A bunch of regions, right? A multitude of cities is a region. And then the bunch of regions become, right, a nation. Okay?
It's like literally when those who come off the plane and have arrived here at the airport, you have to let your mind be a complete clean slate. You really do, and realize that you're in a new place. Everything is new now. It's not old anymore. It's new now. But you are going to learn an old way, which will be new
To you.
to you. And you literally have to be.
Hold on 1 second.
Um,
I didn't want my computer to shut down.
you literally have to be like a child. I mean, you do what you want to do. It's just a recommendation. It's you start fresh. You're entering into a new life. And taking it one step. For myself, joining here at House of Instruction, I literally had to clear my mind of everything. And don't get me wrong, it just didn't happen in one day. What now? I've been in schooling now for 10 months?
Mm-hmm.
And just by each day of letting go, it's a process. But when I tell you it's worth it, it's really, really, really worth it. It's life giving. So you do what you want, but I do recommend when you come off the plane, come to ground zero. It'll make the journey a lot easier.
You don't want to keep bumping your head. Everybody gonna duck and you gonna dong.
Yeah.
You all right, brother? Why'd you do that? We just told you, don't do it. And you went and did it anyway. Dong. Yep. I don't like it here. All right, bye. Bye-bye. He done hit his head twice. He only been here a week. Already he getting put out the camp.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you don't want to not make this opportunity, because the only thing after it is the trap of death. And you're heading straight forward, right?
Yes.
The express bus to nowhere. Mm-hmm. There is a trap set, right? All these good years that the wicked have had to build up all this wealth and ascertain all this gold and do all of this stuff. You know what comes after this? Mm-hmm. Destruction. Okay, so now you think I'm telling the story. Read the next verse.
Mm-hmm. In a multitude of people is the glory of the king. But when the people are few, their leader is ruined.
So in the multiplying of people is a king glorified. In the multitude, right? So if I'm a shepherd, right, the bigger my flock, the more glory it is to me, right? That's the glory of a king, right? But if all of a sudden the famine come and wipe it out, the leader, the king, is ruined. Why did the Most High change the phrasing from king to leader? Because the flock was ruined by the king's poor leadership. He was the leader. I'm the leader here, and I'm multiplying. Okay? I'm improving health. I'm improving living conditions. I'm training. I'm nurturing. I'm educating to develop a multitude. It's to my own glory. When the righteous multiply under my rule, I can sit back and look as poor as I wanna.
Going back to the prudence thing.
Mm-hmm.
When we are following the instructions that you are giving unto us from Allah and King Solomon, we are the extension of your prudence, which will cause the glory to even be upon you even more. So see, it's not about you as an individual. There's a lot here weighing in the balance, not just about you.
Now here's the
All
part.
of us.
We getting ready to come up on this next part. I've been waiting.
Oh.
This is my favorite part. Are you guys ready? Okay, let's go.
Whoever is long suffering, great is his understanding.
Okay, so first of all, long suffering. We're going to get the dictionary out, and you need to understand what long suffering is. Patiently enduring wrongs or difficulties.
Patiently enduring.
So it is patient endurance. That's what it is. See? Patiently enduring. Okay? It is enduring without complaint. Okay? That's all it is. Patiently enduring without complaint. So whoever is long suffering, great is his understanding. So you see the children of Israel, they always got to rise to complaint, right? And every time they rise to complaint, the Most High rise up a plague against them. And then you see Moses, he never complained. He never complained.
He sure did.
He sat silent and just endured whatever he was being led into or led out from, or whatever the situation was where they were going. He patiently endured. Okay? The Most High didn't bring us out here to kill us. If we die, we didn't follow the instructions, messed around and killed ourselves. But that's what happens when you come out here and die. Okay? Some of you don't know, we've had brothers come out here and die. And for each death, I was chastised for it and I had to endure it because all of the deaths were preventable. It was a lack of shepherding. It was a lack of having governance, a lack of care for people. You see? And that lack of care turned around and was causing the person's death. Also, some people's decisions, they don't know how to accept certain decisions. Okay? They don't know how to accept the steps that you have to make in climbing this ladder. Like, I'm telling you the steps to be successful here. Okay? The other ways don't work. You can't come here, hustle and grind from the top up. You can't come here and think you're going to sing out on the streets and earn a living and be able to grind up or become famous or get on. That's not working for you here, man. Listen. Okay? You can't come out here with your little song tracks. They got wedding bands out here. They killing. Okay? They killing. Right? And they already got their favorite songs in Arabic and everything else, and you can't infiltrate the scene here neither.
Mm.
So whoever is long suffering is great in his understanding. And I've had to endure now 8 years. And I still got to endure another 7. Okay? Then I still have to endure another 40. Ain't no sense in complaining about it.
Just walk it out.
Yeah, the walk is the walk.
Mm-hmm.
I got to endure 600. It doesn't matter. As long as I live day to day, I'm going to endure. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to just sit by the wayside. I'm not going to flake out. I'm not going to quit. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about how long I've been doing anything. Okay? It's because I've suffered wrongdoings. And some things I have received retribution for, and other things I have not. So now I know that there's retribution and recompense coming. I'm going to get those. I'm going to be patient and diligent because those rewards come back. That justice comes back with this. It ain't never come back out of Slim Jimmy. That's what I call it, KJV. And then the books. This teaching, I got loyal family. You know what I'm saying? Loyal. They rock with you in jail. They rock with you out of jail. They rock with you poor. They rock with you rich. They by your side as long as you walk in the ways of Allah. They love you. I'm telling you. But you don't know how to walk in the ways of Allah yet. Right? If you're Muslim, even if you're the most devout, if you're of the seed of Jacob, you've only come maybe 50%. 50%. Devout Muslim, you came about 50% of the way of step 1. You're 50% of step 1. You're a devout Muslim, you're a Muslim sheikh and everything. You came about 50% of step 1. Why? Because if we don't redeem our brethren, if we don't get back our land, then you didn't complete the step. Step 1, it begins with redemption. So you got the culture, maybe you can speak the language. You still don't know this law and how to follow the instructions. So you still have to come and follow my lead. Shirk and all. Right? Now, if you Nation of Islam, listen, them bean pies and that clean shaven and them suits and all of that stuff ain't gonna cut no mustard over here. You might as well go down with the rest of the Christians. I know y'all mad at me now. Good, don't come. Right? I don't have an idol of stone and silver, and I don't have an idol of wood or gold. I don't have none. I have my instruction, and that is all. And if you're not going to follow it, don't come. I'm just that simple. You ain't going to follow my lead? Don't come here. Don't call. Don't call, don't come. Okay? Accept your death. Lay down and take it like the man and the woman you are. Like how you strong in your wickedness right now? F him. You ain't watch his channel anyway. You right. Let's see what you say in a few months from now, right? Just a couple of months, all right? Continue.
But whoever is quick-tempered increases foolishness.
All right, quick tempers increase foolishness, which is why the one with lengthy plans hate quick-tempered and short-tempered people. Because they increase foolishness. They cause undue drawbacks. Continue.
He who relaxes the anger of his heart is a healer of his own flesh.
Okay, so take a look, take a listen to that. So you have to relax your anger. Okay?
Yeah.
You know, I used to be very, very temperamental. I used to be quick tempered. Okay? What happened? I just let it go. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just can't continue to be angry about things that you can't change. What was you angry about? Man, I grew up and my mother had polio, so she was paralyzed from the waist down. My father was gone, okay? Them two didn't get along, whatever the situation was, none of my business, okay? But the entirety of the situation made me angry, okay? I got a mom and she has a disability and she can't go. She can't go. If she wanted to go, she can't go.
Right.
And my father is out somewhere in the world and he can't do because he ain't gotten. He's struggling with his own life and his own hopes and dreams and aspirations. This made me angry as a child. I was prone to fighting. Somebody say something about my mother, I just popped right off. You didn't even have to finish the joke. All I had to hear is, that's why your mama. And it was on
And popping.
and popping. He was getting pieced up. I went to karate class. I got right out of karate class and went smooth into a fight. What? I learned maybe 4, 5 katas and went to work with them. What? Come on, we're going to use what we got. You wasn't in karate class. I'm going to hit you with these chops and blocks. You're going to get this. You're going to get these kicks. You're going to get these arm bars and takedowns. And broke arms accidentally. You know, you don't know how much force to apply. It's supposed to be to subdue the person, but
Right.
you just throw it up there recklessly and take somebody down and it's broke. Day in the cast, you got to have a conversation with the mama. Everybody's angry. I was high-headed. It took me a long time to get to the point to where I had calmed down from fighting, just I had calmed down that part. I recognized fighting a lot, you learn something quick, especially you start getting more disciplined in some of the arts and you start, taking a little bit of boxing, a little bit of this. I used to go to the boxing gym down on Nostrand Ave. The guys, we had a little cage behind the white building. So some of you know what I'm talking about, right? And they used to break out the gloves. And every Sunday we used to go in there and get in the cage match. And you can take out your frustration. And I rapidly learned you can't beat everybody. So after a couple of whoopings, right? You just kind of calm down. You're going to take some L's. You're going to take some blows. Some people know how to hit you in some spots. You just give up the goods. You're going down. There's nothing you could do. You know what I'm saying? They hit you in that kidney, in the liver. Yeah, it's a wrap for you. So, but also, people start breaking out guns.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I got into a couple of barehanded knife fights. I got dogs sicked on me. After a while, you start recognizing, maybe we could be a little more reasonable about things. Start trying to think your way out of a problem. That was the beginning of my reasoning. This person can go in the house, and come out with something crazy.
Yeah.
You see? And then, people start forming allies and having relationships and they start sticking together because, they love each other. So I started stopping because I didn't have many allies. I had fought so much. I didn't have any friends. I had very few friends, especially when you grow up and you have a large family. So I had a bunch of cousins, like they were deep. What's up to the Coopers? They just was deep, and then they had a bunch of friends, and so and they street. So we was in the streets, but you keep burning bridges, then you got to keep go back and got to make peace. And I'm not good with making peace with people I done had a fight with. Nah, we not friends. This is to the death. What are you talking about? So I'm talking a lot, but a lot of my healing came from just putting aside my anger. Even my anger about what happened to us in our captivity in America. I was really angry with America about that. But you know what the problem was? What the heck was we doing all the way over there in Africa, so far away from our land? You mean to tell me you couldn't repent when you got to the Congo? What about Libya? I mean, before you got all the way to Nigeria, you couldn't repent. You know how many countries you got to cross? How many towns and cities you got to march through? And none of y'all could repent on that long journey? Then you got over there and just propped yourself up. In your rebellion. All of you, and I could talk to them because, I talk to a lot of people throughout Africa. I'm known throughout the continent. So I could say something about it.
Yes, you can, sir.
Right? So I recognize it was those forefathers' sins, right? My great-grandfather, he was raised in Buckingham Palace as a prince. Because that's what they would do, right? They would go down and they would capture princes and capture princesses of the kingship or of the what they call the religious sect, but it was from the house of Levi, and they would snatch them up. So they snatched them up and they taught them in Buckingham Palace, and then they set him up as an official because he already had the king's bloodline, so the people would accept. But he brought in Christianity, so they taught him how to set up, and he brought in the religion. Then they helped him in business. He was his main export was palm oil. Made a fortune. Palm oil and international trade, right, with England. And you know what happened? They assassinated him. Yep. Because that's what they do. America's playbook is England's playbook. They all play by the same rules.
Yes, Chaldean.
Yeah, that's the same serpent way. That's the Nephilim way. All right, I done talked over this time. I'll be back and we're going to finish up and close out.
Okay.
All right. So all of that was all about you have to relax your anger. Okay? You have to calm down and you have to become reasonable. You have to rein it in. I'm not saying suppress it.
Right. That's not good either.
You have to heal. Being in this land and walking in this law has healed me mentally, emotionally, spiritually, naturally, my body is healing, right? All the eczema and the breakouts and all of that stuff is gone, right? So you can heal your own flesh, but you're not going to be able to do it over there. And you're not going to be able to do it angry.
No.
And that's the reason why most of them not coming back is because they angry. They don't want to admit it, but they angry. Continue.
But like rot in a piece of wood is jealousy in the bones.
So jealousy is like rot in a piece of wood. It completely weakens and destroys it. So now I have to teach you something about jealousy. Jealousy belongs to the one with power of possession. It does not belong to the reverse, to the possessed thing over the possessor. So, starting from the top, from Allah down, I am Allah's possession. I serve Him like a little handmaid. Okay? What is written for me to do, that I do, and I don't feel no ways about it. I just do it and get it done and serve Him with joy and with gladness, and I'm happy to do it. It is joy for me. It is peace for me. It is everything good. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I am His possession. From this relationship, He may have a relationship with all the other men of Israel, and it's different to mine. Each one in their appointment and their way, according to what they need and how they pray and what they're calling for. He will reach out according to however He sees fit. That's also His handmaid.
Mm-hmm.
They are my brother wives, my brother sister wives.
Yes.
Right? They are my brother sister wives. So what's appointed to me is appointed to me. There's no need in them being jealous. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I possess the Most High. I don't possess Him. So this is a perversion of jealousy. Now, the same way it extends to me, and I can't be jealous because the Most High is make somebody else high priest and I wanted it, and somebody else is this and I wish to be that. Whatever it is that I am, and that's it. It doesn't matter. I'm me.
Yes.
Right? If I'm Zebulun, I'm Zebulun, and I'm be happy little Zebby. I'll work down on the docks and learn to swim. That's the end of the story. What's appointed is what's appointed. That's the attitude and the understanding you need to have coming in. Now, going down from me to my wives, I have the right to be jealous over them because I possess them. They are appointed to me. They are in covenant with me, and they have no right to break my covenant. Breaking my covenant, they are under penalty of death. Like if I break my covenant to the Most High, I am under penalty of death. So you see how the justice is continued? So now you deal with this and this. My wives, this is all me. No man have the right to approach. Okay? And they have no right to be footloose outside in the street. It don't matter what they getting and what they don't get. As long as they're getting one of the three things they supposed to be getting, they good. There's three things I keep to covenant my wives to me. Food, clothes, duty of marriage. Okay? Everything else is a different story. It's based upon relationship, need. They have other factors involved. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now, my wives don't have the right to be jealous at each other. They are sister wives. They work together. They need each other to complete the job and the task the same way I need my brethren to complete the jobs and the task. Right? Now, the wives, right? They have children. Now, they have the right to be jealous over the children. The children are their possession. They're my possession too. I father over them, but they are the nurturers. They possess the majority of the time. They are the first teachers of the children, which is why mothers protect the children so ferociously. Okay? See? I protect all. But when it comes to the children, the nearest protector is the mother. She's there. People slide through the cracks all the time. There's open opportunity. She's there for that. She has to protect that child's mind. She has to protect that child's body. She has to feed that child. A mother who creates a family with a man she is not married to has destroyed the child's mind before the child has had any chance to develop. She's destroyed it. Because this child will think that this is okay. And then it proliferates, and then it becomes like an infection in the community. I'm not saying the father died. I'm saying she went out, she committed fornication.
Yep.
And now this child and all the other girls is looking at her, the fornicator, and saying, well, she didn't die.
Yep.
So you destroy the child's mind. They lose reasoning until you get all the way to where it is in America and throughout the world today. Then comes gay, then comes LGBTQ, elemental V. You know, they keep stealing more letters. You know, so this is what it is. This have a possession. And then extended outwards, the rest belongs to the man, the handmaids and the men servants. They are the man's possession. My wives don't possess me. I possess them. However, they do have a demand. They are able to make a demand of me. And it's my responsibility to fill those demands. You see?
Wow.
She can't demand anything because everything comes with time and prudence. But of the things she can demand of me, right? The food and the duties of marriage, those can be given freely. There's no shortage of that. Clothes is a seasonal thing and it's a manageable thing. That has to do with something else. But if she's a wise woman, then she knows how to make money and she can make her own clothes. Right? Or she has some other business and from it, she's able to go out and purchase clothes from the clothing makers. That's how it works. It's a complete cycle.
So when a husband refused to fulfill the demand of the duty of marriage to his wife, it's pretty much being foolish?
No.
So what would that be?
So you have to say this, right? Just because she has a demand, he has time to fulfill it.
Okay.
Right? It's not instant.
Right.
Right? You cannot create any type of perversion. Okay? You want it, he don't have to give it in you time of uncleanness. He's forbidden from that. So you lose out a week.
Okay.
Then you have another week that you're supposed to be, separating yourself, right? For purification. Okay? This week of purification, you get to go to the tabernacle, you get to go to any event. It's purification. You just got off of your days of uncleanness, you just got clean. If you need to make an offering or a sacrifice, you cannot do that after you have touched your husband.
Okay.
Every time you touch your husband, you're going to be unclean. What does uncleanness means? You can't deal with anything that has to deal with the priesthood. So if you have to go to the temple for this or to something else, dealing with the priest, you can't do it. You're not clean. You can stay in the house.
Yes.
Right? You cannot approach like this. Okay? So it's the same thing, like when the men have to appear before the Most High, then we have to abstain from the marriage bed to remain clean, because even in spilling our seed, we become unclean. Okay? So uncleanness is not a stigma, it's just the status of, to know what you can do when you do this thing and what you can do when you don't do it.
Okay.
Right? If I got to go make a sacrifice, I got to be clean.
Yes.
Okay? So that's what this week is for. So she can go and she can give her pigeons and get the heifer water. She's in the week. It's purification week. The priest is coming to the house to sprinkle the rooms. She's purifying. That's what that week is really for. Okay? Right? And that gives the priest 7 days to come sprinkle you, the house, the children. It's stuff. So the sacrifice made on the third day, you can go to him, then you want to sit down, eat. This is a whole procedure.
Right.
Right? You're eating with him. So the sacrifice is made. We all now, you eat by yourself, you take 2 pigeons. Somebody else go with you, you could take a little bit more. So this is what the procedure is.
Okay.
Okay? Now that leaves you just now with the last 2 weeks. So you only got really rock solid 2 weeks, maybe a little more, depending on how things flow during purification week. Okay? You only got 2 weeks to actually be with your husband sexually. Right? And in that same 2 weeks, you still have you can't do it on Shabbat days.
Right.
Right? That's out. So now you got 14 nights and 6 days you can try to make it happen.
Right.
And forget the last day, because if he gets any sauce on him, right, during that time, once you get close, right, if anything happens, now he's unclean for 7 days like a woman. And you do that too many times, the Most High kill him.
Ooh.
So now you down to give or take, offsetting for a day or two, you're down to anywhere between 12 and 13 days you can actually really just sexual days with your husband. So now, what are we complaining about? Okay? So out of these days, if you got a sister wife, you want time, she wants time, and he still got to work and do other things.
Right. So we have to be considerate.
Right. You're gonna get it, when he's going to give it.
Right.
Okay?
Yes.
Right? If he puts you on pause, you on pause. You're just going to be on pause. You angered him, you frustrated him. Now he doesn't want to lay with you at this time. And the same thing, like when you're not in the mood, he has to accept that, right? Nah. So it's not, he don't have to perform. Everybody's not performing on command in the bedroom. So what you have to do, you have to appeal to each other. You learn to supplicate to each other, to entice each other.
Wow.
So it's a different mentality, which is why when you come into this country, right, in all the malls, they have a couple of stores and there's nothing but lingerie in there. Yeah? You want your husband tonight? Ah, put this on, get some perfume, everything smelling good, looking good, cook good food. Make sure he come home, he have nothing to do. Nothing to do but you. This is where the understanding is. So it's not the perversion that you see in America, all right? So while the wife does have a demand, it's not like, well, I'm horny now, so just give me some no. Everybody got stuff to do.
Right.
Being in the land, like being in the land has a way of like slowing down.
Right.
Right? We breed up more in captivity than we do in land, because in captivity, you got nothing to do except for you have your unbridled lust, right? The only thing you do is go to work, and the only peace you get from work and relaxation is sex. Okay? That's it. You go to work and everything revolves around sex. And then they pump you full of sex all day.
Yeah.
Here, listen, I got so much building to do. Right? And when you got a lot of responsibilities, a lot of time, you cut back on that. Like you know what I'm saying? If you get it 6 times and you got a sister wife and she gets it the other 6, especially if he got one good shot in him, you know your husband. You're gonna make that shot work. You know that this is what it is. So it's not so much as a demand. It doesn't make anyone. That is why it says he has to do only one of the 3. So as long as you're getting something to eat, your covenant is kept. Right? Clothing. Somebody can be foolish. I want clothing every time we go out. Oh, buy me a dress. You know, it is my right as a wife. That woman's a fool. Do you need dress? You have 3 dresses you haven't worn, and you're not going anywhere. Where are you going? Why are we wasting our wealth like this? That's foolishness. So as long as you have food, that's the only demand that has to be met without question. Okay? Everything else, you have time, there's negotiation. Right? You can't be naked. You got clothes? Okay, good. We got something. We slowly, we build up. It's within reason. All right.
He who oppresses the poor makes himself a rebuke.
So whoever oppresses, remember what I told you about this poor. These are the people who are exchanging what they have in Babylon for the taking the possession of the land. We are all poor because we are sharing in this and we have to grow it, right? So you're going to be wealthy because you have a possession, but you have to invest and long suffer. It takes 2-3 years to build up and you become really strong.
But he who has mercy on the poor man honors him.
So those who have mercy, they're helping you, They are supporting you. They understand that you're in the growth phase and they're flexible with what you have. And when you have it, that's the thing of honor. So you can see, like, my friend, if I don't have it this week and I bring it next week or when I got it, there's no stress.
Yes.
The first food, get your food. Then after, give me something and you go. You have to be prudent over your budget. So the person who oppresses the poor, the ones who are holding back the righteous, oppressing them, keeping them from getting what they need, what they want, it's a rebuke. The Most High will go and afflict those who oppress, the ones who wish to come out and really serve and really mean it.
Through his wickedness, the wicked man is ruined.
Period. Wicked people don't need no help in destroying themselves. Well, why ain't the wicked ruined? It's because you, the righteous, keep supporting them. You, the fool. You stay there with them. You like to keep them around. You love them because, they ain't all bad. They did this and this was all right. This is kind of good. And you're trying to find good in wickedness. And that's not how it works. Continue.
But he who has trust, who dies, is righteous.
Okay. So he who has trust. So the person who does what the Most High says, he's trusted in the memory and he dies, that person is righteous. So when you look at Solomon is righteous. He trusted in the memory and he died. Right? Ezekiel, Isaiah, they all trusted in the memory, they died. Right? They died trusting it. And in truth, it was you, the wicked Israelites, who killed them. Right? You killed all your own prophets. You did it. You looking to them now trying to get out of the mess because you received the curses. But at the time, you thought by killing them, it would stop the prophecy from coming. It didn't. And I'm telling you the rest of the story because it's also coming now. So if I was to be incorrect about the timing and I perished working in it, I will be accounted among the righteous.
Because you trust.
Because I trusted.
Can you help us have better understanding, a righteous understanding of the word trust? Because that's pretty warped.
Okay, so trust is to do in spite of. Okay? That's what trust is from the lawful standpoint. It's not about belief, right? So if I say I need the money to buy the land, get the supermarket, and this, if you gave me a portion, but not the full amount, you can't call me wicked and you didn't fulfill the instruction. The instruction was buy the land, buy the houses, buy the farms, build businesses, right? So you buy a piece of land or a building that has business shops and you put the shops in there and you do good business, okay? If you didn't give me the money for that, say that if I had to say off the top of my head, right? So if I set a budget to do a farm, to do a supermarket, and to do some type of supermarket and businesses. Let's say that's what because I'm doing like a building that's got multiple floors, but I'm starting on the first floor and to get the businesses done and maybe second floor for storage. All right, I'll be back right after this. right? So I'm doing the second floor for storage. So with that being said, right? If I started and I got the farm and I brought in the people and we start farming and the supermarket comes up in a month or two, and then I start building the second floor and getting the storage place for the stores because, they starting to fill in, right? I'm renting out some, I'm using some, and I'm using the money from the rentals to finish out the buildings and whatever we're doing. If you didn't give me the money to do all of that, you failed. It's like buying a car and they give you a car payment and you make the first 4 payments, right? And then you stop making payments on the car. You broke the agreement. You didn't give what was needed. If the land has to be owned outright, it cannot be in some crazy loan or extended payment plan. You have to have security for the people to come in and not have any expenses. You have to have security, so you just have to own it outright. And that's the first thing you do. You get the farm, you own this outright. The farm will begin to produce for you the moment you get on it. You're putting seed in the ground, you're getting water, you're getting certain things. You get the supermarket going, this keeps the cash flow, right? And then you build up from there. If I had a budget and I said I could do this and start it with $500,000, give or take, right? It's possible with 500,000. Not the biggest supermarket in the world, but we can have a store, right? If I did this with $500,000 and you gave me 25 grand, what are you looking at me cross-eyed for? 25 grand, not $500,000. You looking at me saying that was a lot of money. Yeah, it's a lot of money to you, but it didn't complete the assignment. You didn't trust in the member, especially if you got, say if you got 1.5 million, right? The tithe was 500,000. You gave 25 grand. Who did you impress? You stole from the Most High. You had the money, you had the tithe, and you didn't give it to the Most High's work. And now you want the Most High to bless you with what? You didn't trust. Okay? To trust is to do in spite of. It's to complete the task. Okay? You have to complete it. You have to finish it to see the full results. You cannot say a person failed and you didn't give the full results, right? Oh, we hired a contractor. You put down a 50% deposit. He did half of the work. What happened? Well, he didn't finish it, so we didn't do. We'll be back. Okay. So the contractor says, listen, I got half the basement done, right? From the half you put down. Okay? To finish the job, I need you to put the rest of the payment, the other half, okay? Put it in deposit in the escrow account. And I'll finish it because upon completion, I want to get paid for my work. And then the person that's hiring the contractor, if he has trust and justice, right? What he does, he goes and he puts the money because he have it in the escrow account. Escrow is a legal bank account, right? Where you put money in holding, right? You put money in holding, and upon the specified work being done and the showing of proof, the money is released to the one who pays. Okay? The one who did the work. So the one who pays, they hold it. He doesn't get it until the work finished, right? So the contractor don't skip out on the job. Okay? So when he gave the money first to get the contract, and then you get halfway done, and then he finished the payment and his agreement and the contractor have to finish the work. Okay? So in this situation, you had to pay to complete it. You had to trust that the contractor would complete it. Your guarantee, your surety was the escrow account. Okay? Your guarantee is surety. I know he's going to finish because the money is sitting there and he want to get paid for his work. Now that's an extreme situation. That's extreme. That's using American logic to explain a basic system. I'll tell you how it works over here. Here, we can make an agreement for work. I can hire the contractors. I can go to the store. I can order the supplies. I can have the supplies shipped to my house or to the place that's being worked. And what I agree to pay, they'll ship me all the supplies I need and I make monthly payments. Right? They don't want a long agreement. It may be about 2 months, 3 months, 6 months the longest, but that money has to be on time. Nobody want to hear nothing. You have to be a man of your word. The same thing with the contractor. Your money have to be on time. You have to be a man of your word. So let's say something happens, some type of tragedy. The man at this store, he knows about the tragedy because it was said throughout the community. That's how close-knit it is. And the other man that's working, he knows about the tragedy. He understands it's a close-knit community. Right? If I was faithful for a season and then there was a death, there was this, and I have to take care of these other priorities. They'll continue the work as if I honored the agreement. The agreement didn't break because I couldn't pay because of a tragedy. It didn't break. It didn't break because something bad happened or this or that. And immediately, when I do have it, I go to them and I bless them. I give them what they're supposed to get. Even I make apologies for the delay because of the tragedy. But they don't stop working because they know there is a built up trust. There is honor and integrity. Okay? Sometimes you have a hardship, say you a broken toilet or something. This man in the community, he will give you the toilet. You have to have this. He'll give it to you. And he'll wait to receive the money when you have it. There is a trust. Okay? Why? You live here. There's no escaping to another place. There's no hiding. Not in this country. You can't hurry up and try to move in the night and escape out. And it's not possible. It's not. I'm telling you. It's not like New York City. As big as Amman is, you can't hide in Amman.
Right.
You're gonna run into people. They're gonna see you. You know people in certain areas because this is where you frequent. They see you. They recognize you. It's the system. This area is good. This area, they don't like you. They don't even know why. They just don't want you here. It's family. It's closed. Okay? So when you're discussing trust, you're going to have trust with whom you have trust. If the agreement is to complete something, then you complete it. If you don't complete it, you broke trust. If the agreement is give me the money, I buy the house, we pay for it in full, we're done. If I don't get the money in full for the house, you broke the agreement. You broke it. So the agreement says we have to own the land because you're coming and you're going to live rent free. You're going to have your food met because we're getting the land in the supermarket. If you don't give me the $500,000 for the land in the supermarket, you can forget it. Giving me a portion, giving me half, giving me close is a failure. It's a breach of agreement. And breach of agreements here, you'll cancel the first agreement and then there's another penalty that you have to pay on the agreement.
Right.
For breaking the agreement, especially in land purchases.
Mm-hmm.
You can't renege, you can't break it, you can't back out.
Mm.
It's land.
Right. That's why there's no refund.
No. If you start it and you break the agreement because this person is paying, they're doing things with the money you gave them, expecting the whole amount. If you break your agreement on land, you just lose everything.
Right.
And still have to pay a penalty
for not keeping
your word. The penalty is so expensive, you might as well just keep your word.
Yeah. So when we say trusting in the memory, it is about doing
first. So trusting in the memory means hearing the instruction that you read from the page from the teacher and joining with him and literally doing it in the land. Because you have to do it where it says to do it, when it says to do it, and how it says to do it. Okay? And so to make sure all of these things line up, you're going to have to line up a bunch of Targumic text. That's a big fancy word for you have to take all of the books of the Targums and cross-reference and check to make sure that the instructions line up across all of the prophets because they all speak the same story with a different detail about different subjects. Each one sees from his view. Mm-hmm. So now, to extend trust, right, you have to send a third. Okay? I have to go buy land. If I go buy the land and I go buy the supermarket with the third, because you're arriving now, right? You're coming into your place. Oh, this is great. Yes. Now here's the drawback. You gave a third. This costs this much. We need to take up the rest of the collection for this amount to finish paying. And you'll say, well, why did you pay that much? Now that's somebody who don't have no trust. That person is a fool. Why did we pay this much? Because according to the number of people who say they come in,
this is what we have need of.
We need this. If we get the smaller, cheaper one, it will be insufficient. Then we still need the money and we still have to buy bigger and build bigger, and this costs more time.
So it's better to be prepared.
Do it right the first time with the preparations, then you don't have to double back. And it don't cost you more because now we have to build on the farmland that was cheaper and smaller and less productive rather than get the big farmland and you could have.
When you say that, if you do it that way, it pretty much you're not having trust for the whole instruction. You want, oh, let's start out small and see how this works before we do. That's the wrong mindset to come with doing this. It's like either you're gonna do it or you ain't gonna do it. There's no in between.
Absolutely none. So this is the truth about
Yes.
trust. Trust is not about a belief. Okay?
Right.
Trust is applied, right? In trust is applied to a contract, to a covenant. From today backwards, the nation of the children of Israel have only tested the Most High in rebellion. None of you have been 100% right. And that includes myself, right? The nation. So we've only tested him in sin. Only. Because we've been doing it wrong and we're doing it wrong. And we so good at doing it wrong, we can point out when somebody else is doing it wrong. And that means you must have some clue about how to do it right. You see? So if you have to have some clue about doing it right. And if you're going to do it right, then you have to come and you have to walk this out with me, because for 7 years I have pursued it literally till I know now how to do it right. I've graduated the initial 7-year course. I've completed cleanness. Okay? So in trust, we have a covenant to keep, we have a law, we have an established leader. Now you have to come in and you, as the people you claim to be, right? If you don't claim to be a child of Israel, don't worry about it. You'll suffer the punishments if you are, all the same. That's one of the curses, that it won't leave from you, right? But if you are and you claim to be, and you're not here doing this because you didn't read it and you didn't understand it, so now you're just rebelling because the understanding didn't come to you, you're haughty. That's haughtiness, right? When I came out, wherever the understanding was, I had to accept that leadership. So it happened to be that the understanding was with Sheikh Aid. So I follow him faithfully to this day. That led me to the kingship in my father's house. See, a man of understanding will be elevated. I understood this. I went to see my people, they all renting. They renting and paying taxes and this. They can't own no land. All right. That's not who I want to talk to. Who can own land and how we can get it? I'm here to get land possession.
Making usury agreements.
You make usury agreements. So now, since you're going to do it lawfully, right, it's what it is. So now you can't redeem the land without being considered indigenous. You need a birthright and some paperwork and certifications for that. You have to be adopted into the tribe, and there's a whole process for that. Then, at the same time, you have to be proven that you even are worthy of the birthright from your people who still hold the history. And I did that too.
Wow, so you just can't go get a birthright. There is steps, a process.
There's a lot of process that goes with it. It takes time.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It takes time. It took me 7 years, and certain individuals had to come out, and you're not responsible for getting them out to you. But I happened to be at the right place. They came to meet my teacher, and I was sitting at his right hand. So when I asked my question, the connections were made. So if I'm not with the right teacher, I don't get the right connections. Redemption was made because I was with this teacher. Redemption is made for you because you're with me and I'm with my teacher. So I get redeemed, you get redeemed. I extend it to you as an act of righteousness. It is a birthright thing. You don't take it because you don't trust me. But the truth is, you never trusted me. You don't believe the memra. You don't trust the memra, but you don't know what the memra is. So you're going to see one of two things. Either you trust me, you give, and you come, right? And you see by walking, doing. I'm extending an olive branch. You grab a hold of it, you get redeemed out, and you see it through the process of goodness. The only risk is a little bit of money, just money. It's actually worthless. So if you don't love money, this is good for you. If you love money, then you test the process in affliction. You go through the curses, you go through the problems, you get them, and then you say, that little niglet was right. I know. So this is the truth. All right?
In the heart of the understanding man dwells wisdom.
Okay. So the man who gains understanding, little by little, he gains the wisdom because he's hearing and doing. That's the sign of understanding, hearing and doing. So it's just like I just said, pertaining to the last thing about the trust, which is the trust in the memra. You have to hear and do. But you don't hear, you don't do. You can hear and don't do, and it's the same as doing wickedness. Okay? Not hearing and not doing is the equivalent to adultery. It suffers the same punishment. It suffers death. Okay? You're getting there a lot slower, but you're getting there. Okay? And that's only to a certain point, because when the Most High comes to kill the rebels, you'll be on the rebel list. And when the rebels go, all the rebels go together. They go all at once. The person who didn't hear will be given mercy. You see?
Yes, sir.
Continue.
But in the midst of fools, stupidity is known.
Well, that's all you got. Right? If you don't want to participate in the hearing and the doing to gain understanding, to gain wisdom, because you're not going to understand without the hands-on application, without doing. You have to relocate, you have to live, you have to give. It cost me the same thing. I'm not telling you because I didn't pay. I paid. Stupidity is the only thing left. It is dumb to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
Righteousness exalts a nation.
Hearing and doing exalts a nation. Because what is righteousness except for obedience to the order and the instruction that you're being given? Hearing and doing. So I'm coming to bring you into the bond of the covenant, and it begins with the redemption of the land, which is the beginning of repentance. If you don't participate, you're not hearing me and you're not doing. And you're only not hearing me because you have hope in the stupidity that somebody told you that is not written here. Continue.
But sins are a rebuke to peoples.
So to the nations, see peoples with an S. So sins is going to cause all the nations to be plagued. Well, they ain't get plagued yet. Just because the Most High is long suffering. That's one of his attributes. He's long suffering and very close and quick to administer mercies. However, your clock is drying up because I'm out here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to. You're going to see me do it. Like, I'm going to get off this camera and I'm going to get on this land and I'm going to check out. And then you're going to be like, well, what happened? I'll be like, I'm at the farm. Like, that's it. I'm at the farm. I'm watering stuff. I don't know what you're talking about.
The goodwill of the king is with a clever slave. Wow.
So this refers back to also Joseph and the Most High. The Most High likes cleverness, right? The goodwill of the king is with a clever slave. Okay? Now we all were slaves, right? Me included. I was in America with you, right? What happened? I reasoned my way out. And the only thing I have to watch out for is listening to anybody, right? Except for the instructions that I have already gained the understanding of from hearing and doing. I have to teach you how to hear and do. Because if you did hear and you were doing, I'd be with you. You'd be here already. You see how that works?
Yes, sir.
Continuing, we're going to finish up this chapter for today.
Okay, 1 second, sir.
And this goes for all your servants. You're gonna really like the ones that got like real good craft and skills, and they're gonna be up for elevation.
But at his sins they are ashamed.
So the king is always ashamed of the sins of the slave because they were absolutely unnecessary. There was no reason to commit it. You have everything you need supplied for you. Why throw your sustenance, your sustainability away for a moment of fleeting pleasure? You wanted to sleep with this girl so bad that you get yourself kicked out. Right? You had to have this woman so bad, you get yourself kicked out, and you know when you leave you have nothing. So you will just die. Right? Because once we put it in the land, we can't get it out. We get it out in apples. And you don't got nothing to carry that many. What you gonna do? You gonna get it out in what? Oranges? That's it. You're just leaving. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And that punishment will remain. It's a shame. Right? We're trying to elevate you. We're trying to promote you. We're trying to exalt you. We're trying to put you in the place of princedom. But if you lose your integrity and your loyalty, it's a shame, you know? And then we're always looking for it. I want you to know that too. We're not looking for it. But this was a long talky talk class today. Chapter 14 is a heavy one. We'll do chapter 15 tomorrow. All right? I ain't got nothing else to say. Well, one step at a time, one day at a time. Accept this prayer from Ali, the high priest.